All right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We know we got a late show, late one tonight. We appreciate y'all coming out regardless. Appreciate y'all. We still gonna get it in even though it's late. Nice little Sunday evening. Hope everybody is doing well. We've got a very great guest, a very illustrious guest. We have somebody that is far smarter than me. I will be the first to admit, far smarter than me. They up in Toronto, help out with the zoo, as well as run their own educational service regarding animals. The wonderful and the illustrious Dr. Wildlife. Everybody, yes.
Thank you so much
Yes.
hyping me up in the very beginning of this. I'm gonna inflate my ego.
We have to. We have to. You come on the show, you're gonna get hyped
Yeah.
up. You're gonna get hyped up. So how's it going?
That's good.
How's it going?
I am tired, but like full of energy all at the same time because not only are we doing this stream, but I just got back from Pride Toronto. So I'm like riding off the high that is being surrounded by like so much queer energy
Yep.
and we're doing this stream. It's like perfect combination today.
I was really gonna ask how'd it go?
Oh, it was amazing. I really don't know the total numbers of what people were, saying were at Pride, but like the furry section alone was ridiculous. We had a float with like DJs, Dodge and Nah, or I think sometimes Nah goes by Sabretooth Drake in terms of DJing at cons. But they DJ'd and I don't know, the support was wild. The only other Pride event I ever went to was Dallas. And that's Texas. So it's like I was not prepared for this kind of thing, but it was great. It was very great.
I was gonna say I know there are a lot of furries up that way, and to hear that y'all had y'all's own float is not shocking at all.
Yeah. So it used to be hosted by someone that ran these events called Kerfluffle, and the main organizer actually moved to Seattle a few months ago, and so now we have some help out with Kerfluffle and also some new people that have done like their own, and they have kind of combined and started this new thing called Fierce, which I love that name. I love that. Yeah, and they did an amazing job putting everything together today, and I told them, I was like, y'all need to relax tonight. This is the night for drinks and good food and good vibes after all the organizing you did with such a massive group of people. Ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ridiculous size.
I'm sure. So, I have to ask you. The curiosity gets the best of me. Are you a certified doctor?
So I could not save you in a medical emergency, but I could tell you lots of animal facts.
I was going to say, I assume it's in the veterinary field. I just want to, I just want to know.
I have a PhD, so I can't even fix the animals really. I mean, I can. I have vet med experience. That's what I started my career with, but.
Look. Yeah. Counts all the same in my eyes. So how did you get into animals? Like how did you? Was the interest just there from a childhood days, or how did you get into your field?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every kid kind of goes through a phase, or most kids goes through a phase where they're like work with animals, and the default is I'm a veterinarian, because a lot of people don't realize, especially at a young age, but even as adults, that there is more to working with animals than just vet med, right? Yeah. So you, as a kid, you're like, I want to be the veterinarian. And I grew up in, 90s kid where I was surrounded by people like Steve Irwin and Jeff Corwin. And of course, they go by the Wild Kratts now, but back then they were the Kratt brothers and Zaboomafoo and all of this. So, living in a double wide trailer out in the middle of nowhere with a little antenna on our trailer, the Kratt brothers and all those other things that would come on like public television. That was like some of the only things I got to watch. And because of that, it was like in my brain all the time. But I grew up on a farm. So coupled with all of that, it was just like something I was always very interested in, living out in the middle of nowhere. And we had cows and chickens and stuff, and didn't do much with them. It was more of like a happy farm kind of situation. You just have them. And I would work with our vet on the farm sometimes, and it progressed into, okay, well, I'm a teenager now. I'm in high school. I'm going to make a career out of this somehow. And then here I am, still working away with animals. Yeah.
No, I mean, look, that's great. I mean, obviously, you know, you having at least the experience on a farm and just having that firsthand stuff, I'm sure really spurred on it. And I was gonna say, talking about like the public TV and all that. It kind of relates into the next question. I can get to see talk about like the Crap Brothers and stuff. It is on PBS. I'm sure even shows such as Between the Lions. It kind of got you maybe even a little bit further in the next jumping off point as to the fandom and like being a furry and all that. Like, was that also a jumping off point? Like at that point, or what
so
kind
funny.
What kind of got you here?
I had forgotten about that show until this exact moment. That's why I made that noise when you said that. I was like, oh, that show. I watched it, but I don't think it, like, for me personally, I guess, because obviously I had forgotten about it, but also it was like a sleeper agent thing. You said Between the Lions, and I was like, the show. Like, I immediately remembered. I guess it didn't really impact me, like, as on an obvious level like those other shows did. Like Zoboomafoo was like my jam kind of thing. And I was obsessed with Zoboomafoo and the Crap Brothers. And oddly enough, the Crap Brothers, they live in Toronto. I've never met them, but I always joke, I'm like, I need to collab with them somehow, please. And I've never, I've joked with them on Twitter replies, but it's never been anything formal, and I've never followed up. But maybe this stream is me the incentive to be like, hey, Crap Brothers, I'm here, you're here. Let's do something. But yeah, Between the Lions. Oh my God, I had forgotten about that show. I'm still like flabbergasted. I had forgotten about it. Oh, that's amazing. I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Look, there we go. The stream is a jumping off point for both action in your real life and nostalgia. That's what I love to do. I love to get that mind going, get that mind working. So So like the aspects of, you know, you are one of the few furries that I know, and I know it's a decent amount of y'all that are not only, obviously as a furry you're interested in animals, but also get to work with them in the capacity that you do at the Toronto Zoo. You know, how I know the move from Texas to Toronto to have an opportunity like this was a big one, but what have been some of the What have been some of your best memories working in the Toronto Zoo for these last few years?
You know, it's like so difficult sometimes to pinpoint moments in my career that I could list as like most iconic or favorite or most memorable moments, especially in the last few years of working with the Toronto Zoo and some of these other really amazing zoological partners. Something that, you know, for me, I'm just like, oh, like, or I shouldn't say for me, but for some people in my line of work, this is just like an everyday thing for me, what I'm about to say. But I still think it's super cool, and I'm sure you guys will too. But, you know, one of the things, like, basically what I do, which we can go into more detail later, is I help install and manage and like build these interactive camera systems, so no matter where people are in the world, they can tune in and they can see the animals from the Toronto Zoo. So like if you can't afford to go to the zoo, because let's face it, zoos are not cheap experiences anymore. Like you know, I remember when I was a kid, like, I mean, they were kind of pricey, but it was like $10 or something, and now it's like $30. Makes sense. I don't blame the zoos at all, but not everybody can afford to go. With the pandemic, people can't get out because, you know, compromised, or they may have other disabilities, or maybe other things that prevent them. And so with these cameras, people can tune in and they feel like they're there. And something I did back at the end of last year is went to the Toronto Zoo and installed some cameras in their Sumatran orangutan habitat. And, you know, the orangutans aren't in there when you're there, but it was just so cool to like be in that habitat, right? Even if the animals aren't around, it's like orangutans live in here.
Yeah.
It's just super cool. And, just having a chance to visit zoos and aquariums all over the world because of my job, because of my connections with like the Toronto Zoo and such. I mean, at TFF, I went to the Dallas Zoo, which is one of the zoos I used to work at, and saw some of my old coworkers, and they gave a few of us, myself and two of my friends, we went behind the scenes to see their baby hippo, and got to like do some training sessions with the baby hippo and like the big adult hippos and such. And yeah, I work with some pretty cool animals, but I never get tired of moments like that. Like even if it's the same species, it's like I'm always mind blown by these animals that we share our planet with. Like I will never get tired of that. So I guess I could say, it's these, what most people that are in my line of work would say is like the mundane things, the things that happen all the time. Those are the most exciting for me because it's just like, I can't believe that I'm in this line of work kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
No, I mean, the thing about it is like, it is the little experiences. It especially like in a field like yours, it's kind of easy to take a look at the larger things, but it is those minute things like talking about the cameras. I'd love to hear you talk about more. You said you'd get into it later. I'd love to hear about it now, about the aspect of these cameras and the accessibility it provides to a lot of different people.
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Like I could, if there's anyone listening in that like regularly tunes into my Twitch streams and stuff, they know full well that like this is something that I am so passionate about. I love my job. I love my work team. We're a very diverse team. We're a very small team. Gosh, we hired some people recently, so I may be miscounting, but it's like less than 10 people that do all of this. Dang. And basically it was it started during the pandemic when zoos and aquariums, well, the whole world really, but zoos and aquariums had to shut down. And one of the biggest differences with zoos and aquariums is a lot of people don't realize this, but most of them are nonprofit organizations. And that means that they don't necessarily have any external funding. There are zoos that are owned and quote unquote paid for by the city and taxes and stuff, but that's certainly, I don't know if I can say it's not the norm, but it doesn't seem to be the biggest case these days. But they don't have external funding other than the occasional grant or like private donors and such. And when the world shut down and the zoos and aquariums shut down, they have mouths to feed. The staff also, right? Like the staff have, they need food. The animals need food, and there's none of this income, and it's a lot. It's a lot to do. But, a lot of zoos and aquariums almost didn't make it out of the pandemic, and some of them didn't. In fact, one of the reasons why I moved to Canada, and a lot of people don't realize because I haven't really talked about it too much since it happened, but I was working at the Dallas Zoo at the Children's Aquarium at Fair Park, and I bet you or the people listening would be like, "Talk, this has nothing to do with the cameras," but it's essential. So I worked at the Children's Aquarium in Dallas, and I was the director of it. And this little aquarium was like my heart and soul. Like, I love that place. It was the first aquarium in Texas, opened in 1936. And it was under this mandate to always be accessible because it was located in South Dallas, which traditionally when people think of South Dallas, it's like, oh, it's the low income communities. And the way I see it, I'm like, this is the place where the kids may never get to see these animals otherwise. Like, they probably aren't going to be able to afford to go to the Dallas Zoo. They probably aren't going to be able to go to the museum. They're sure as hell not going to be able to go out to the ocean themselves. Like, I don't even necessarily have the budget for that, let alone some of these kids. And what I really loved about it is our admission was super cheap. It was $6 US for adults. $8 US for adults, $6 for kids, and if schools were there on field trips, it's only $4 per kid. So we catered to the South Dallas community a lot, and something that I really loved about it was, I struggled getting a lot of work experience when I was young. I grew up in a very small community of like 300 people. It's terrible, in Arkansas, and I was a low income kid. I was the kid that wore Walmart clothes that people, which is just funny. You're in a town of 300 people and you're getting picked on for wearing Walmart clothes. It's like, guys, we're all in this.
Yeah.
Like, we all live in Arkansas down dirt roads. Like, what are you, you know?
It's multiple pots calling multiple kettles black.
Yeah, it's like, excuse me, but yeah. So, you know, I grew up low income. My family's better, you know, I wouldn't say amazing, but better off than we were then, right?
Yep.
And so I understand this, you know, these limitations. And so you know, these schools or kids would contact me and do job shadows, and I wouldn't even look at their grades. I'm like, I do not see. I don't care what your grades are. Like, just come job shadow me. And I did that a lot with kids and did internships with them, and whatever they wanted to do, I was like, we will figure something out. And some of those kids I'm still in contact with today, which is really cool. But yeah, but needless to say, it was like working at the Children's Aquarium. I love that place. And so come March, and it's about to hit our busy season for field trips and job shadows and all of this. And I still remember that email or that phone call from some of the executive staff at the Dallas Zoo being like, hey, we're shutting down. And we're just like, okay, for how long? And they're like, we don't know. And it's like, oh, okay. And, you know, it went into, okay, well, who has to be at the aquarium? Who can work from home to prevent like more people potentially getting sick? How do we split our teams? So if one team gets sick, it's not the whole, you know, all the aquarium staff get COVID. There's still backups. And we did this, you know, figuring this out for several months, and it gets to June and the aquarium is still not reopened because it's an indoor place. Yeah. And we're like, excuse us, when are we going to reopen? And that's when I find out from this Dallas who owned the aquarium, even though the Dallas Zoo managed it. It was a weird situation. Yeah. But the city was like, the financial loss from COVID is too great, so we're shutting down the aquarium. Like, we're going to vote on it in August, but it's pretty much a sure thing. Yeah. And it was wild, you know, it's a longer story, but to summarize, essentially that my summer of 2020 was campaigning with the park board saying, like, you can't get rid of this. It's a public service. What are you talking about? It not making money. It's a public service. Yeah. Like, it's not supposed to make money. It's a nonprofit. Yeah. And eventually, you know, the park board met and they voted and said, yep, close it down. And of course, there was other budgets that I won't get into because I'll get heated, but other budgets, I'm sure you can guess, got increased. This got cut completely. And I remember a lot of sleepless nights and tear-filled moments, especially at the aquarium, where I was like, what are these kids going to do? They'll never see a shark now. Yeah. You know, and some people would say, well, what, you know, there's a lot of more urgent things in the world than a kid seeing a shark. But I'm like, yeah, but like, they're not going to see a shark. They're not going to have a connection to the ocean. Now they live in Dallas. They're in a landlocked city.
You don't know the inspiration that it might give. Further down the line.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was very, very difficult. And I eventually moved to Canada because we were all about to lose our job. And I wish I could say, you know, this story was unique and it was one of the only things in the pandemic, but the Vancouver Aquarium, one of the crown jewels of the aquarium world, almost got shut down. There's several other zoos that got shut down. People were sending animals out everywhere because they couldn't afford to take care of them anymore. And while all this was going on, little did I know my current work team was brainstorming, like, how do we fix this issue? Like, how do we future-proof the zoo and aquarium world? And they were working on these camera systems that are live webcams, but they're like super high quality and people can control them. So it's not a static picture. They have a chance to control the camera, move, zoom in, see the whiskers on a tiger kind of thing. And I eventually, tier 4, but I eventually found them and was like, I am in love with what you guys are doing. Because for me, of course, there's a subscription charge for it, but it's super, like, you know, this isn't the price of it, but it's like $10. Yeah. You get full access to multiple zoos and aquariums around the world. You never have to leave your home. Exactly. And of course, internet, you know, you could, you know, it gets way more complicated, of course, when it comes to accessibility, because some of these areas in families and such, they don't even have internet. They don't even have a computer. And of course, that's like, you know, another challenge, but eliminating the need drive or transit or buy tickets to an in-person zoo, really is the gate to who can access these places. So yeah, so that's what I do and do now, and something that I'm just very passionate about. Like I could talk for days about what we do with it, and obviously we can touch on more. It's just like I'm obsessed with ways to get more people to connect with nature.
Yes.
And, whatever it takes, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, please. And while we're on the subject, please support your local zoo and aquarium, please. It's important. It's important work. I remember growing up going to the North Carolina Zoo in the middle of the state, Asheboro, North Carolina. Weird place for a zoo, but all right. No, I remember a very, very fun experience seeing a gorilla for the first time. I'm like, I'm in North Carolina. Yeah. When the fuck am I gonna see a gorilla again? And boom, there it is. Like it's just it's fun. It's fun. Whether you are a kid, which I don't know if you're watching the stream, I don't know why you are a kid. If you're an adult or if you got kids, like, hey, it's a fun time. See an animal. Go see an animal. I don't know exactly where the closest one is to you. It might be a little bit of a ways away, but if you have the opportunity to, please go see one. Yes. Slightly moving on. You mentioned how you have gone all over the place, all over the map, speaking and getting to talk with a lot of different places and companies and wildlife organizations. I have seen some of the pictures, and I've seen you suit up. It was use your first suit. Also, in particular, the last one you went to, golly, where was that? It wasn't with Google.
I was at Google. I was at Google headquarters in New York in fursuit. Yeah.
What has the response been for you to show up in this full green tiger fursuit?
Yeah. Oh, everybody absolutely loved it. Like there was only one exception. My boss was like, or our CEO of our company, which is called Zoo Life. I didn't even say what it was called. It's Zoo Life TV. But our CEO like holding my hand, or I guess my paw, if you will, and was like guiding me around, being like, this is our product operations manager kind of thing. And she took me up to this one guy, and this one guy would not look at me. He was not having it. And he was looking at her and was like, I'm sorry, but I can't talk. I can't talk to that costume. Like, it's just too awkward. So I'm like, okay, I will dip, because I was like, is he an investor? Is he a head of a big technology thing? I was like, I'll go away. And then, of course, like, later that night, so that you had that in, and then later that night at like the after party of like this demo thing we were all doing, there was this lady whom I don't know. I always joke, I'm like, were you the head of like some department at Google? Like, who were you? She was hitting at me, and she comes up to me and she makes this like cat like kind of thing, does the hand thing, and I look at her. I'm not even in suit anymore, mind you. Wow. It's just me. It's just, and I'm like, I look at her and she's like, you were the tiger earlier, weren't you? I was like, yeah. And she was like, are really into that. And I was like, oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she growled at me again, and I was like, okay, it's my time to go. I'm gonna walk away. I still don't know who she was, but I think about her occasionally. Like, I was talking about her to someone else the other day, because someone asked me the same question. Have you ever had strange interactions when suiting at work events and stuff? And I'm like, oh yeah, there was that happened. And she didn't bother me. I know some people would be like, oh, this made me uncomfortable. I was just like, live your truth. Growl at somebody that has a tiger costume. I don't care.
That's so funny, man. You actually got hit on in a furry fashion, completely out of suit by a non-furry at a non-furry event. That doesn't compute. That really doesn't compute.
I know, it broke my brain too. It's funny, I must have had a certain look on my face after this because I was like perplexed. I was like, I wasn't bothered, but I was definitely like, did that just happen? And I walked to some of my friends and like coworkers and they're like, what's wrong? And I was like, this lady just growled at me. And then like throughout the night, I would see her across the room and sometimes we would make eye contact and she would do the like, I say the cat hand thing, but you know, like when people are pretending to be a cat, like kind of thing. Yeah, she would do that, and I would be like, I don't know you, lady. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. You're very drunk. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna stay over here.
Let these Google employees get a few Mike's Hard Lemonades in.
Right.
Everybody becomes a furry at some point. They just gotta reach that line, but once they're there, they're there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna give you a softball of a question. I assume you've worked with tigers before, like actual.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
In zoos and in the wild, yeah.
What am I saying? As if I don't remember you having that cast.
The tiger paw prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've worked with them quite a bit. It's actually tigers are what made me switch or inspired me to switch from pursuing a career in vet med to conservation and science communication. So I actually, thinking back to the beginning of the stream when I was saying that as a kid I wanted to be a vet, that actually did continue all the way up into when I started university. And I was actually like a pre-vet student at my university. It was a biology degree, but I was focusing on pre-vet. And I started interning in a variety of places. The Memphis Zoo was one of them. And I was interning because when you apply to vet school, it's actually harder to get into than med school. It's incredibly difficult. The classes are very, they only accept so many students each year. In Arkansas, which is where I'm from, they don't have their own vet school, which means that you have to apply to other vet schools as an out-of-state student, and they only accept say a vet med class at some random university accepts 20 students for each year's class. Maybe 3 of those are out-of-state students, and it's very difficult. Arkansas actually has contracts with a few of the universities. Louisiana State University is one of them, which is where I was. That was where I wanted to go. They have a contract where they accept so many guaranteed Arkansas students, which is great.
That's
it's
nice.
Still difficult.
Yeah.
So, but I
know that LSU.
Yeah.
I know.
Go ahead.
You said you went to LSU. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was working towards going to LSU.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Let me not tell you a story. Go ahead.
Oh no. You can interrupt me whenever. It's fine. If you're like, wait a second, Doc, what did you say here? Or if you think of something, go ahead.
I know that LSU has a live tiger on campus.
They do, Mike. Yeah.
And I know you talk about. I think Memphis also does as well. I'm sorry. This is the sports brain that comes out. I only know these things through college football.
Oh yeah. Yeah, college football was my thing. I've never cared about like the NFL or anything, but I know nothing about college football these days. But college football was my thing in university, and so I was obsessed with LSU for a lot of reasons. But one of them was the fact that, well, one, I love Cajun food. I could. Don't take me to New Orleans. I would gain like 100 pounds. It's like feasting on Cajun food the whole time. Oh, the food's so good. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to live in Baton Rouge and I'm going to subsist off Cajun food, but also LSU, good college football team.
Yep.
Entertaining. I like their school colors, purple and gold. Love that. And they have a tiger in that habitat. It's actually, I don't think it's accredited by anything, but it is actually pretty close to it. It's a huge habitat. They take really good care of the tiger. And as you get into the latter years of your vet degree there's actually classes you can take to be some of the tiger's caretakers.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted to be a zoo veterinarian, I was like, okay, this is like ideal kind of thing. There's other vet schools that do zoo and wildlife med, but it's places like Tufts University, which is, I think they technically consider it an Ivy League, so it's like very expensive, very hard to get into. So that was like, I liked it, but I was like, there's no chance for little old me. but I was working towards vet school. I was doing internships at all these places because you want to stand out. And I was trying my best to stand out as possible. I was one way every weekend to intern at the Memphis Zoo, just to get like some experience. And this eventually progressed to where I started working at a tiger sanctuary in Missouri that would take in tigers that were rescued or rehomed from private owners or roadside zoos or anything like that. And, I started there just to get big cat experience on my resume. It was like the only group of animals I hadn't worked with yet. And they had more than tigers, but, a few days into me working there, we rehomed a tiger from Texas named Tina. And
Tina the tiger from Texas.
Tina the tiger.
That literally sounds like the start of a children's book.
I want to write a children's book about Tina, actually, and you'll very quickly see why. But I one day I'll have the time and the spoons to do this. But Tina, she was someone's pet in Texas. It was actually the guy had two tigers, and it was Tina and Ike. Tina and Ike Turner. Yeah. And the story doesn't end well in a way because Tina and Ike, they were pets. They shouldn't be, but they were pets. And there was this guy had a granddaughter, and you could probably see where this is going, but he had a granddaughter, and one day the granddaughter got in there, and Ike, the male tiger, tried playing with the little girl. Not trying to kill her, was trying to play with her. And the problem is little kids don't play like tiger cubs do. Humans don't. And he accidentally drowned her playing with her. And so, and people ask me this a lot. I don't know what happened to Ike. I feel like something bad happened to Ike because I've tried to look for Ike records and like other sanctuary found an Ike from Texas, that was the same age as Tina. He probably would have been passed away by now anyway, because he would have been quite old at this point. But now I don't know what happened to Ike, but Tina got bounced around from home to home. Ended up at a sanctuary in Texas. It was really bad. That actually got shut down. It got raided, and all the animals got sent out to other places. And she got moved to a zoo, a good zoo, but not a zoo that's equipped to take in rescues. And she didn't find a permanent home. She came to us, and she was the first tiger I ever had at the sanctuary. And I remember, I still see her in my mind when she came in. Her eyes were solid black. She was terrified. Man. And I have a picture somewhere, I'll have to send you sometime, of me feeding her. One of my coworkers took it, and I'm feeding her, of course, through barriers and stuff. And Tina's teeth, like you could see every single tooth in that tiger's mouth. Her eyes are solid black. Her ears are back. Her whiskers are like, she looks crazy. Yeah. She looks like a crazy tiger. And I was like, I don't want this tiger. They're in their forever home. I don't want them to feel like this. So I would actually go out, and it sounds silly, but every morning I would have my coffee, and I would sit outside of her enclosure, and I would just talk to her, have my coffee. Sometimes I wouldn't talk. I would just hang out and like not look at her. I would just do my own thing on my phone or read a book. Oh yeah. And I kept doing this, and eventually Tina got so chatty with me. It was like within a week, she was a totally different tiger. She talked to me. I'd come out and she'd be like, "Meow, meow, meow, meow," and I'd be like, "I don't know what you're saying, but hi," like nice. Chatting to me and doing the tiger chuff. And she was such a happy cat. And one day over some fried bologna sandwiches at lunch, I remember this perfectly in my head too. I jokingly said, whale songs help saved whales. Like it got public interest in whales. People are like, oh, they talk to each other. And I was like, what if tiger songs could save tigers? Because Tina's clearly like chatting to it. It sounds like she's saying words. She's not, but it's like noises. And we laughed, and then I was like, but wait a second. And
actually
and the summary of it is I started doing some like just fun research while I was working on my bachelor's degree, looking at it and seeing if there was a way that we could track tigers in the wild with their voices and stuff. And around this time is when I was hearing back from vet schools. And I remember this day. I got like a vet school acceptance from LSU, and I was so excited. But then I sat there and I'm like, all right, vet schooling is 4 years, and to specialize in zoo med, that's 2 more years, 2 to 4 more years on top of that. So that's 6 to 8 years. And This was around the time that a lot of people don't realize this, but they had projected tigers to be extinct by 2022. Of course, they're not now, but at that time, there wasn't a lot of conservation efforts, and people were worried. And I'm like, okay, if I go to school, like, what? I'm not saying I'm going to be the person that saves tigers, but this research is very promising and it could help. But I'm like, I don't want to step away from this and regret it, and tigers are gone by 2022 kind of thing. So I did something that terrified all of my friends and my family, and I declined the vet school acceptance, and I went on to get my master's and later on my PhD, and focused on working with tigers and such. But that led me to, I've worked with tigers in India multiple times, and some work in Sumatra, but not as much. But I've worked with them in accredited zoos, at sanctuaries. I helped rehome them. This is a whole other thing. Joe Exotic, I've met him.
Oh wow.
The Tiger King, I've met him. He is just as eccentric and terrible. And yes, I know about the show, and no, I have not watched it because I feel like it would trigger some sort of PTSD from dealing with him in person. So I have not watched it, and I refuse.
I'm sure,
I've met him, yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, hey, it's Ray's in the chat. Hello, Ray. How's it going? Hello.
You know what? I pulled up the chat to be looking at things, and then I had minimized it, and I have not looked at it. I'm so sorry, people. Yes. I'm sure you've been asking great questions. We were having a good time in here. And,
I did not see any questions, but if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But speaking of questions, I have a test for myself. For myself, I am going to take a tiger quiz. This is something.
Okay.
I have not looked at these questions. I've not looked at these answers. I do not know.
I love this first one. I love this. I'm getting giddy. I'm swinging my feet back and forth. I don't know. Oh, I'm so worried for you. This is a trick question, I will say.
Yes. How many species of tiger are there? Now.
Sorry. I believe in you.
Species of tiger. I know there are different kinds, but different species. See, I know Amur, Sumatran. I know there's more, like, we're going with that. I know that there's more than 3, I feel. So I think the answer is it's either 8 or it's 1. Because, like... It might be a specific thing where it's like it's only 1 tiger. You know what? Yeah, I've talked myself to it. It's only 1. It's only 1.
Final answer?
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I'm going with it. I don't think it shows the official answer.
Oh. Yeah.
But I'm.
Oh, special skills.
Special skills. I'm pretty sure it's all the above, right? Like. Tigers leap, swim, climb.
Actually, this one kind of tricks me up a little bit. I feel a little iffy about the climbing, but they're cats, right?
Yeah, they are cats. I know the tigers.
It's a very big question.
Tigers can leap tall, and I know the tigers can swim. So it's like it makes me feel like it's all the above.
I guess they technically climb.
Yeah.
When I think of climbing cats, I think of leopards. So that's why I was just like, this feels a little weird.
How do tigers found in Sumatra differ from those found in other areas? I'm trying to think. All right.
Oh. Well, spoiler alert, the Dr. Wildlife is technically a Sumatran tiger. So your hint is use facts about me in a way.
Okay.
Actually, let me look at the options. I say that.
I was gonna say it.
Oh yeah. I think you could use. Well, actually,
I think it's either B or D.
I'm not stubby. Someone said, "Are you stubby?"
I was gonna say I didn't know if you had stubby legs or.
Well, I didn't seem sure. Oh, God bless you. I don't know you. I don't think I recognize your name, but thank you for your kindness. I'm glad I didn't seem short.
Yes, that's Star Lemur. Hello, Star. Well, we're good friends.
Hi.
I think it's D.
Oh, star. Hi. Yes.
I'm fairly confident it's D. I know Sumatran tigers look different, so I'm going with it with a
They
complete guess.
look different. Yeah.
What does tiger urine smell like? Well.
Oh, I have a funny about this one when we're looking at the answers.
This is.
Like, what the kind of option is that?
I mean,
Flowers.
it no way it smells like flowers.
Yes, Ray. I think we've talked about this one, Ray.
There's no.
Oh, well, actually, so Ray knows this one because at TFF, I took them to see some of my old coworkers, and we went to see the Sumatran tigers, including the babies.
Aw.
They were pretty big babies, but babies. Yeah. So Ray has smelt this. Ray knows.
I don't think it's buttered popcorn. I know. I obviously, shocker, urine smells bad. It's either A or C in my mind, and I think that A makes the most sense because I think C is too on the nose. They're giving me the answer. They're giving me the. Is it really buttered popcorn? That's crazy.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. Huh?
This is crazy. You learn something new every year. And speaking of years, how long do tigers live in the wild for?
Oh, these are some confusing.
Yeah, everything can be around something. That. I'm gonna go with the most specific. I'm gonna go with the most specific, and I'm gonna say 32. It did tell me the right answer. It's 15.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn, that's
they have
great.
very short lives in the wild. It's very sad. Very sad.
That kind of makes sense. I was perfect until then. Damn. All right.
Oh, Ray, please.
Damn. How many are there in the
calling
wild?
it tiger pea popcorn.
How many
please.
tigers are there in the wild? I know it's not a lot, but it is getting better. It's either A or C in my mind. In the wild
Yeah.
though, it got bad. I remember I started going to school right around when the conservation effort really started to jump off. I went to a school that also has a mascot as a tiger. That's a little wink wink nudge nudge to anybody that might be trying to figure out more about me.
I'm gonna have to poke your brain after stream because I have an idea. Anyway, continue.
I think you'll know. But
I'm pretty sure I do. College football brain me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go conservative 390. Damn. It's I like that though. I like that number getting.
It's a good one to be wrong about.
Yeah, I like that number. I like that. Yeah, How long are their tails? Good Lord, I don't know centimeters at all.
That's a little random question.
I don't know.
Really know. Like I can see it in my head, but
okay.
It's not like I've been like, come here.
Okay, no, I'm thinking about it, right? Think about a ruler, 12 inches.
And it's
that's 30. That's 30 centimeters. I know that. So all right, so it's like that. No, it's not 50. It's not 50. So like, if you go like 30, is it 70? 110 seems a little long. 110 seems a little long.
It kind of does, but I don't know. I'm trying to picture. I'm closing my eyes. Picturing tigers.
Like, are you telling me that a tiger's tail is 4 feet long? Like, that doesn't seem right,
maybe.
Does it?
No, when you say it
that,
out loud, it doesn't. But then when you think about it, I'm like, maybe it is. It's pretty long.
Yeah. Tigers are big.
Yeah.
What? How long is this one? How long is this one? This one seem.
Yeah, right.
This one seem about it.
This is right. That's pretty. pretty accurate. What is that? What is that?
That's pretty. That feels pretty accurate. You know what? I talked myself into 110. I've talked myself into 110. Fair enough. That was the right
candy
answer.
cane.
Yes.
Can't believe Dre. Did you see what Dre said in the chat
What?
about me? You see that?
Oh,
you see
are you
that?
telling me it's dock length? Man, this getting flagrant. What do tigers do with their prey after successfully catching it?
Eat it.
I was gonna say
eat it. They eat it.
It just seems like they just eat it. Oh, they drag it into cover. Oh man. I gotta start taking my food.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know
No.
eat it was actually
No.
put it off.
No.
I was just being sarcastic.
I would have done eat it too. That's what I was gonna pick anyway.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like that's a silly answer, a silly question. So you get a silly answer, you know, like they
drag
eat
it into cover.
Oh my
all
God.
right. Now apparently I've been eating wrong. I gotta do it. What is the success rate of tiger hunts? Wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm.
Sorry, says I like to take it to go. There's stars. Like I was right, you fools.
What quantifies success? What quantifies success?
They actually get prey and have it and eat it. Like they take something down.
Okay. All right. So that makes it like if it's just like that simple as like not having like take down a massive meal. I feel like it's a pretty high success rate. I would feel personally. Me personally. I'll go see. What? Oh my God. 10%?
Yeah, they're very bad. Most big cats are. Star gave a very good fact in there. So black-footed cats, they look like a house cat, but a little smaller. They live in Africa. They're very adorable, highly endangered, and that cat is actually considered the most vicious predator in all of Africa because they have a success rate of 60% compared to the tigers, right? Like, yeah.
Look at them. Oh.
Look at them. I love them so much. I've never worked with them, but I have like visited. There's not many places that have these. That image was so small. That was so small.
It's so small.
Yeah, they're very cute. They're so cute. They're very fierce, very tough. 60% kill rate. Tigers aren't very good at it.
I can't believe it. We got to get these numbers up. We gotta have a meeting.
Yeah.
What do tigers eat? Deer, grass, other tigers, and small birds. Feels pretty easy, personally.
Cannibals.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We eat each other. All right.
Yeah. Is that why I was called to come into this stream? Is this an ambush?
Yeah. It's actually been the long con, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
How much can tigers weigh up to? Now, if I didn't know centimeters, I really don't know kilograms. I know big.
Yeah, right.
I know they are big, but how big? I don't think this is cheating.
Let me get this conversion for you.
I don't think this is cheating. I'm looking up kilograms.
1 kilogram is 2 pounds. 2.2 pounds.
Okay.
In 1 kilogram.
All right. Good to know. So double it. Do tigers weigh 600 pounds? Do they weigh 600? Yeah. I can kind of see it. It's some big tigers, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about higher,
Siberian or Amur tigers.
like up to like higher end, like 300. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, big as shit.
I got some big boys out there.
How far can tigers leap? Now that's intriguing.
Oh, we got meters now. I should know. Let me tell you this quick little thing. I hate meters. My brain. I've lived in Canada since 2020, and you know, like when you're driving in the States and you have Google Maps on or your GPS on, and it's like, okay, in 300 feet, take a right or whatever. That my brain's like, okay, I can see what 300 feet is when I'm driving. Like when I'm not driving, it's a little harder, but when I'm driving, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. But in Canada, it's meters. And my brain has still not figured it out. Like I like so many times I turn too early because I mean, it won't be like 300 meters, but it'll be something, and I'll be like, oh, it's this. And then it's like, no, you fool, it was 2 streets down. And I'm like, oh, I cannot. I don't know, my brain, it just meters. Anyway, sorry, this meter thing, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. 15. I think they can leap long. Feels like a safe guess. 5. That doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel
short.
Like if you told me 10, okay. Like, hold on.
Okay, what is this in feet? Okay,
Yeah.
actually, so 5 meters is like 16 and a half foot.
Okay. All right. That's more acceptable. That
So actually, I guess that is pretty. Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
5 meters. Yeah, and then I realized, oh, maybe we should have looked up the conversion for that. Oh well.
You know.
It's done. It's done.
We'll chalk that up. That's that's
Yep.
the quiz. 7 out of 10. That, you know what we call that? Above average, above 50%. We'll take the win. We'll take the win when we can get them. That's damn.
We did it. Yeah, but the butter popcorn thing, it's so true. Like when I used to work with tigers, the person I was dating at the time, like when I would come home, they'd be like, "You got to take a shower before you come near me," because I would smell like movie butter popcorn. But it wasn't like I don't know, like it's one of those things. It's very nostalgic to me. Like I don't like the smell of it.
Yeah.
But I do like the smell of it. And it sounds weird. You'll be like, well, why, Doc, why did you smell like tiger piss when you come home? It's just like when you work around these animals, like, you pick up their scents, like, just being around them. Like, when I worked with elephants, and I would, like, smell like elephants when I got home, right? Penguins are disgusting. It smells like fish all the time. But tigers, like, it's not necessarily a bad smell, but it's not great. It's not a great one.
That is actually very wild. I never would have guessed.
Ambient piss smell, said Maple. Wolverines and binturongs. Binturongs have kind of that butter popcorn way about them too. The more you know. That
really is. Like I said, everybody we come on the stream, we have these streams, we all learn something. Now, now. The fact that I apparently don't know as much about tigers as I seemingly should, that's a little bit of a harsh reality for Gazi, but we'll get better. We'll learn from this.
Yeah. You'll learn. You'll become a tiger expert before you know it.
I know Star said that's not average. I get it, Star. I apologize. I'm faking the funk. And I will get better. That's my guarantee. I will get better. Real quick, because I know it's late Sunday, we gonna have work in the morning, but I have to ask, with you being in Toronto, how much of the Toronto street slang language have you heard?
Oh, the Toronto man language is what you're asking about, huh?
Yes.
I mean, like, I hear it pretty frequently. I couldn't do the accent or anything, but I can interpret it. Like, I understand it these days. And it's funny, people are like, what do you mean, the Toronto man accent? It's really hard to explain. Toronto is one of the most culturally diverse cities in the world. A lot of people don't realize that. There's so many ethnicities and language and such. And our second most spoken language in Toronto is actually Mandarin Chinese. A lot of people think it's French because French is the second official language of Canada. But in Toronto, specifically, Mandarin is actually the second most spoken. So you get a lot of a mixture, and what happens is people that have lived here their whole lives, or even immigrated, to be honest, like you just pick up a Toronto accent. I don't necessarily have one, I wouldn't say, but I've only lived here for a few years. But I don't know, you hear it all the time. It's like one of those things you don't realize that you know. It's a very complicated accent, and you don't realize, wow, it's actually pretty skilled that I understand this accent. until someone that doesn't comes up and they're like, I have no idea what this person
Yeah.
just said to me. It's not even a different language. It's just an accent. It's
Yeah.
very strong sometimes. It's very
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Yes, Haley, I do mean like Drake. And I have an example.
Oh, do you have the
Yes.
video of
Yes.
Drake? Just like
Yes.
people are like, what the hell is he even saying here? Yes. Yeah, the Toronto. That's my comment. Yes.
Come on, play. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on. TikTok, please don't do this to me. This is the first time featuring TikTok on the stream. I'm gonna have to restart it. I'm gonna have to refresh it.
Yo, I'm cheese right now, Dad. Yeah, a man said your Jordans are fake. What? Yo, I put a man on 6 balls yesterday. No cap. Hold that. Don't come in here with them me. Yo, who's that? Yo, you can't bless me 2 for 15? Loud that. Twerps. Yo, fam, I'm not trying to get latched right now. Yo, there's boy them everywhere. Don't run. There he is. Come back, YG. Yo, fam, you can't bless me. I'll lick up puny piece of popcorn. I didn't eat all day. I'm marved. Yeah, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? Yo, dog. Yo, fam, you can't be doing those ones. You have to brush your tongue in the morning. Yo, I can't even. Yo, let's crush that. Are you guys dumb? You guys think I'm just gonna come to the telly and it's gonna be a battery? Let me tell you something. I'm not a thought. Oh. All of your boys get vexed. I'm a baddie named Curls. You guys are what less hood mans. Shorty, how do you know all our bodies are pinch? Yo, family, where's my bread? I've been waiting all night. I'm showing you, fam. Don't get that.
My God.
That accent and like that whole language and cadence is crazy to me.
Yeah. It's actually like, you know, I think people think when we talk about Toronto mans or whatever is what it said, people think like you're over exaggerating. I'm like, no, there's people that talk like that and they're not faking it. It's just like part of it. It's part of it.
That's
I think a lot of it is there's a big population from like Trinidad.
Yeah, a lot of from West Indies countries.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. What is I'm just like now I'm diving into this. I get very interested in this is the biologist in me. Migration path.
Yes.
Like culture. So like throughout Toronto, and I could have a conversation about Toronto's like the diversity of the city and all these ethnicity. I could talk forever about it because it's just so fascinating to me on how it intermingles. And I think that's why like I highly recommend Toronto to anyone that's looking to move to Canada or visit, because it is like such a great city. It's such a great city. It's amazing.
I've been to Toronto a few times. I love it there. Every time I go, I'm like, I want to keep coming back. It's just that I do not deal well with the cold, unfortunately.
Oh. We get the snow.
Yeah, I need
the snow.
I gotta stay down south. We get snow occasionally, but not like it is up there. Not like it is up there.
Oh, it was really bad this year too.
Yeah.
It was like snow was like it kept coming. I was like, I'm so tired of it. I don't want to look at it anymore. I like it, but I mean, I don't like the cold. I like snow.
Yeah.
I like seeing the snow.
Yeah.
Certain point, I'm like, I don't like this anymore. I want it gone. Don't like it.
Yes. So, like I said, we're gonna keep this short. We're gonna keep this. It's 10 o'clock over here on the East Coast. It's getting late, and your boy's gonna have to get up for work in the morning. I know that you will probably have some responsibility as well, and you've had a super long day out being prideful. That's
a good way to put it.
Out being prideful. I do know a Toronto fact for everybody, and this is completely off the top of the head. Yonge Street, longest street in the world.
Yeah.
Longest street in the world.
It is.
That's one that has been committed to memory ever since I visited. Some woman told me that on a tour, and I'm like, that's staying up here.
Yeah, and actually, the busiest highway in the world is in Toronto too.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, or like I think it may have been downgraded recently, which I'm like, it's not lost. You don't want to be known as the busiest highway, but the 401.
Yeah.
I just looked it up because I was like, what exactly made it get to that? But it says it has a daily volume that surpasses 500,000 vehicles per day.
Yeah.
It's bad. We have a great transit system. I drive some places, but I'm usually on the TTC, which is typically when people say TTC, they're referring to the subway here, but we have subway, we have trains, we have streetcars, we have buses, we have everything. So I try to stay away. I don't go on the 401 even when I'm driving. I avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
For that reason. Yeah.
No, I get it. But I'd like to thank you for coming on. You know, like I said,
Thanks for having me.
coming on. Let the people know where to find you. What you're getting up to nowadays.
Yeah, I'm super easy to find everywhere. My on pretty much every platform is just Dr. Wildlife, not spelled out, just DR. And I do science communication on Twitter. I also do science communication here on Twitch. Typically, every Wednesday night is a free zoology class. Like I said, I'm all about accessibility to science and teaching science in ways that can be absorbed by anyone, regardless of their educational background. And so I do free classes based on real curriculum every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch. I say typically because this week is Anthrocon, so it will be the week after that I'm back. So if you want to learn more about tigers or maybe some coral reefs, whatever you guys are interested in, Wednesdays on my Twitch is the place to be.
Yes.
Definitely
And you got a business with Anthrocon coming up next week.
Yeah. I will be in the Dealer's Den at Anthrocon Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the entirety of the Dealer's Den opening hours. I will have some tiger paw print cast there if anyone wants to pick one up. I also have some Tigers of the World posters. I have a new Tigers of the World sticker sheet that will be debuting there. And of course, if tigers aren't your thing, which that's so sad if they're not.
And boo you if they're not.
You're right. But I have a ton of other cool critters too, from orchid mantis all the way up to pangolins, everything in between. So be sure to come check out my table. What is my table? Someone's probably asking, even though I don't think they did. But it is F10. It's the main aisle when you come in the Dealer's Den, which I'm so scared, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
I got you.
I am one person.
F10.
Yeah.
F10. Yes.
F10.
Yes. Thank you for coming on. Lovely friend, great friend of the program. I'd love to bring you on, and I'm gonna need you back soon. I will be back, and I will learn more. I will definitely learn more about tigers. I feel.
My God, we could all do some form of drunk zoology on Twitch. Get Wolf and all of them on here.
Yes.
God. Okay, we gotta talk about this.
Absolutely.
Sometime.
All right. Well, yes. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful con week. I know you'll be busy.
Yeah, so much for having me, and I look forward to coming back sometime.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah. See ya.
So, everybody. Lovely. We love Dr. Wildlife around here, don't we, folks? I completely just realized this. There's another, if you want more of that lovely Toronto man accent, I'm finding one right now to end the stream. One of my favorite things growing up, I completely forgot about it. Come on now. I cannot spell. Is it really? Oh my God. Is it gone? Alright, it's not gone. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Beg pardon. Is it gonna be an ad? Oh, there's an ad! Oh my goodness. No free advertising around here, partner. Alright, we're back.
T-Dog Goon Scrap.
Oh, alright. Just making sure.
DVD 2017 Oz. Mans are back to really show you beans how mix up it gets in these ends. The 2016 film was greasy. Yo, stop this. T-Dog Goon Scrap DVD 2017 Oz is jam-packed with bare shit to blow a man's cellar socks off. I guess a man like Ed wasn't so honest about this part of the 6 Oz. Pockets are being inspected. The ghost lines are up. Sneaky plots unfold right before your head top. My guy, let me talk to you for a sec, bro.
Yo, I'm a church you,
bro. I didn't ask you if you would protect the Lord, my guy. Let me holler at you.
I don't want to run.
Don't ask me I'm moving on.
That's my dad's money, man.
Tell him Tycho has that, bro. Man, them know our motto. New year, bear man's getting top up in their head top. Critics are vexed about the places mans are getting dummied. At Shooter's yard during a taboo sessions.
My bad.
Yo, Ricardo Sish on the man them, so that makes him a what?
Yeah, rat.
Early, bro. And what's a rat's look called, bro?
Yo, the grade 7. Man, don't even
Bro,
know,
what's a
fam.
rat's look called, bro? You bean? What's wrong with this?
Oh, man, bro. You take away their moms.
Watch your lip. Watch your chain, bro. I dropped 50 on this, eh? At Shaq's Earth Strong Telly Tay.
Yo, you're not gonna send me the Insta? You don't go so then, dog.
Use up with your fingers, G. Go so, move your fingers, dog.
Trust me, yeah, I just came home, throwing a birthday party. You should follow.
Holy. So you're coming home with Tycho. You see the ice? Was that a little coca?
Yeah, man, it's right off the university hand. Yo, what the f? Yo, so what are you, a butter or something like that? That's $9 on my Dukes' credit card. I don't respect the Dukes.
Those are bums, bro, on your Duke's credit card. After a long day of popping tags on Orifice Road.
Come out the whip, my guy. Jump out the whip, chief. That's my earring.
Yo, this man's on right now.
Bro, that's my
Jordan.
Jordan earring. Bro. That's not for brand.
This is my Earth
Bro, I
Strong
done my
birthday,
birthday,
fam.
bro. From my Duke's crib. I don't run like
Yo,
that.
fam, it's nothing like that, fam.
So soon as you're
Let's go, fam. Let's go. Yo, talk to this man. What's this man dealing with, fam? This is my earrings, G. My earring, Earth Strong.
A man can even get caught in mix-up for no reasons. Chirp down the trap fizzy and I'll burn you a copy of T-Dot Goon Scrap DVD 2017 The Nero is off, bro. If you're feeling like a bum and wanna look a discount, you can hug a 30% using the code BLEMAS. This is strictly 100% no money back guaranteed. After you swing the loop, cut doggy. So what are you waiting for, you beam? Taking how the man them rate T-Dot Goon Scrap DVD.
Yeah, man, like, honestly, I'm gonna tell you, yo, my first T-Dot Goon Scrap, bro, yo, one of my brethren that used to work at JD's Connections, bro, he linked me, he's like, yo, I got a thing that you need to see, you know what I'm saying? So you know what it is, the man done popped that in the thing, bro. You know, it was one of those nights, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody was there, you know, building up a vibe, and trust me, man, that's what I'm saying, like, yo, it's just a classic for the city, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, when the man number when the man number doing that thing, you always have to support, man. So, yo, trust me, fair ratings for these two, man. You know what I'm saying? 3 out of 10 for sure. You know what I'm saying? Siskel and Ebert thing, dog. Trust me.
You can't just last with that 10, bro.
Allowing you is not a 10, though. You mean?
Yo, Drizz.
That's not
Bro,
allowing
just
you.
give it that 10, bro. It's a man, bro. Just give it that 10 and done, bro. You don't rate the film a 10? That's what you're telling Tycho, bro? That's what you're telling Tycho.
It's a tree, though, bro.
It's not a tree, bro.
It's a tree.
It's a 10,
Yo, bro.
Yo, it's a 10, bro. Yo, my God, you know that, bro.
It's a tree. Yo, bro, it's a tree. No forest, bro.
Are you crazy, bro?
It's a tree, us, bro. Dip, bro. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Get your bro, man. It's a tree, bro. No forest, bro. It's tree, man. You know what it is. What's wrong with these guys, man?
That is Drake. That is Drake Haley.
Pretty blessed, though.
Yo, my man, you gotta fix up, bro. Yo, make Tycho act
Bless,
bro.
it's blessed, bro. Bless. He's blessed.
If you link me just now, I'll throw in my guy Chico's insurance fraud. You're super blessed to drive, but if you crash, it's a hit and run thing, doggy. Mans can link up the trap fizzy, but don't call the home line. My dudes go to sleep at 8, bro. So yo, top left, cop T.Goon Scrap DVD 2017. Unless you're a B-Nars. T.Goon Scrap DVD. Man, you get down with that STC. You can catch it at Brown, you can catch it DT, you can catch it at the zoo, you can catch it at a car wash.
Oh man, this was 2017. I completely forgot about this until we brought it up. Man, oof. What these two dudes, Jay and Trey, are actually really, really funny. You might be a little lost if you want to look at their stuff. It's really good. But yeah, no, that's literally impromptu. Last little thing I wanted to end on. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for showing out. Like I said, it means a lot for you. It means a lot to me for you to come on the show and watch and be entertained by our silly little conversations. AnthroCon's next week. I will not be there, but if anybody else will be there, I hope you have a nice, safe time. Always a good con there. We got my schedule's a little sporadic coming up, so there might be sometimes I would try to stream once a week, but the days themselves might get a little wonky coming up down the next little bit, but I will keep you all posted and updated. Thank you all very, very much. I will see y'all next time, and let's have a good week. Let's have a really good week, everybody. We love starting out strong. Wake up tomorrow, or whether you're already up for my foreign viewers. Keep striving, keep thriving, keep prospering. Do your damn thing. All right, y'all take it easy. See y'all. Peace.